Hey guys, good morning. Today's January 21st, day 21 of Wise Up. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Looking forward to it. This is kind of a fun topic. Have you ever seen people driving super fancy cars? Or have you ever seen people with super expensive clothes? It's funny. I heard somebody say one time that sometimes the people who look the most successful and look the wealthiest oftentimes aren't. Or have you ever, actually, not a question, I just want to tell you the story. I just now thought about it. When I was in high school, it was during band camp, and we took a lunch break, and a bunch of us in percussion went to KFC. And I kid you not, we pulled in, and there was a Rolls-Royce Phantom parked out front of KFC, and we were like, dang, who's that? So we went inside, and the only person in the store was this guy in a plain t-shirt, some old tore up jeans, Velcro shoes, not what we expected. Cause we, as 16-year-olds, we walked in, we were like, man, Rolls-Royce Phantom, whoever's driving that thing is a baller, dude. So we thought we were gonna go in and see this guy or gal in a nice suit, an expensive outfit, and just look the part. But really, sometimes perception doesn't match reality. That's kind of what we're talking about today. It's just kind of related. But here's my point, is that sometimes we see things or we think things are a certain way, but really they either aren't that way, or what we think is the right thing to do, a good thing to do, is actually not going to take us where we want to go. Here's our verse today. It's from Proverbs 21, verse 17. It says this: "He who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will never become rich." It's a pretty neat verse here, right? Obviously, Solomon's talking about money. He's talking about wealth. He's talking about poverty and what leads to that. One of the biggest things that society tells us is that life is about you and life is about right now, so live it up. But Solomon taps into this little secret to life, and he shares it with us in that verse, right? Here's something. Be mindful of what you spend your money on and where you spend it. It's easy to be the cool guy. It's easy to be the guy buying dinner for everybody. It's easy to be the person who hosts all the parties and has everybody over. It's easy to be the person who overextends on credit cards and does all that. It's easy to be the person, you go, you work your job, and you go and you get a bunch of money, and so you go out and you buy the Yeezys because you want to be cool, or you go buy this new thing, or you go buy the new Xbox or PlayStation that comes out. Right? It's easy for us to save up our paychecks so we can have the newest and coolest, but really it may not be, and oftentimes isn't, the smartest and best thing for us. Because one of the greatest lies the world will ever tell you, and they tell us this every single day, is that life is about and is all about you. Get what you want while you can, because it may not be here tomorrow. Life is all about you. Now, whenever we look at this verse, he who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will never become rich. Isn't saying pleasure is a bad thing. It isn't saying wine or oil are bad things. But what he's saying is, just like we talked about a second ago, being careful of what you're spending your money on. Right? Because a wise person recognizes that God gives him these gifts. So he's saying, don't be led astray by chasing all these pleasurable things. Don't be led astray by spending all your money on wine and oil and all the fine things in life, especially if you can't afford it. Right? Pleasure's not bad. God created things to bring us that. And so not all things that are pleasurable are bad. In fact, God created it to be a good thing. Our problem is, just like everything else, is that we tend to seek the pleasure more than we appreciate the object itself. Or we tend to seek the pleasure that someone brings us more than we seek a relationship with that person. And it works with all kinds of things, right? It's just the idea that in the beginning, Adam and Eve, they worshiped and loved the creation and not the creator. They wanted something more than just simply God. And so Solomon says that these things will bring us poverty. So here's just a simple word today. It's not too complicated. Don't spend money on stuff, and I'm talking to you and myself. Don't spend money on stuff or things that you shouldn't or can't afford. If you have debt or things that you need to pay or things you want to do that you have to pay for, pay those things. Take care of those things. Because how easy is it if we have something we're obligated to pay for, but we think it's more fun to spend money going to the movies or spending money on these things that bring us pleasure? We're rude to our friends or whoever it is that we owe the money to, or the bank or whatever it may be, and we can't pay it. That's not good. It doesn't honor those people, and it certainly doesn't honor God either. But most of all, let us live lives starting today. Challenge yourself and think about it. To live a life where our hearts don't seek pleasure for ourselves first and foremost, but instead lives and hearts that seek God and His kingdom above all else, and knowing that when we seek Him, that He'll provide everything that we need. So seek the Creator, not the creation. That said, you guys have an awesome day. See you at church here in a couple hours. Starts at 10:30. Come and hang out and worship with us, because God is good all the time. So have a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m.